Welcome to the Soulful Space Podcast. I'm Alisa,
And I'm shy.
and on today's first episode, we will be discussing growth within spiritual journeys.
So I just wanted to ask you how you're doing today.
It's been a week, honestly. Me and the guy that I told you about,
Ooh.
yeah, that kind of ended. So I actually had a mental breakdown,
Oh.
and I cried for like the first time ever in a year. And it wasn't just because like of that. It's just like I don't know what my purpose is because I'm also dealing with things like work and stuff like that. So it's just been like a lot of stress. And I actually was listening to a TikTok and this girl was talking about like, thank you for being you and stuff like
Mm.
that. And it kind of hit. And I was like, at first I was like, damn, like, who even am I?
Okay. That's valid.
And yeah. And now it's like, I let that go. And now I'm just taking it day by day.
Okay. I want to give you props for not crying for an entire year
Thanks.
because could not be me.
Yeah. Emotional baddie over here.
Maybe a couple months max.
Mhm.
But yes, I do be crying on the low by myself. So,
Yeah.
yep. But, if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. He wasn't the one for you. Plus, we don't like Capricorn, so.
Yeah. I don't know. We could discuss more of that later.
But I think spiritual journey is definitely relevant to like determining or discovering who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not sure, you're still figuring it out. It's like, dang, who am I for real?
Yes.
So it is definitely difficult.
Mm-hmm.
As for my week, I was at work.
She be working.
Yeah, I be at work. I ate poorly over the weekend, which is not like me. I ate a pizza. It was not a large, it was a small. I was like, wow, so much for my food prep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ate pho the next day with extra noodles. And I was
Hey,
like, wow, I'm supposed to be eating healthy on the weekend.
to be fair though, it's not unhealthy.
That's what my coworker said. He's like, this is relatively healthy. And I was like, I don't think the fried rice that I'm putting back is all that healthy because it's fried.
I mean, but the broth and stuff.
It was, yes,
Yeah,
that part is
it's really
healthy.
light.
And then my trainer today at the gym, he's like, are you counting your calories? And I kind of lied. I was like, oh, yeah, for sure. Mind you, I ate a pizza. So that was my weekend. As for the week, it was just fine. I was supposed to go on a date tonight. Don't think it's happening. Unfortunately.
Man, what's going on? Like, I get it, it's 2025. We're all realizing things, but like,
What are we doing?
what the fuck?
Correct. What are we doing?
Honestly.
I was looking forward to going on the date tonight, and I'm 99% sure it is not happening. So that really sucks. But it is what it is. I just say that it wasn't meant to be, even though I wanted it to be.
We all want something that we can't have, unfortunately.
Correct.
Apparently. What the hell is going on? But yeah. So
Yeah, so that's been our week,
yeah,
I'd say. When's the last time I saw you? Over a week ago.
literally.
Yeah. So we're getting to know each other on this podcast.
Yeah.
With you guys.
Yes. It's going to be a great get together.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
A party.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to get into the soul
Let's get into the soul
of spiritual journeys?
Yeah, I like that.
So you said yours started in 2020.
Yes, it's been a long time since I've like really delved into spirituality. And obviously there's still a lot more to learn. And going back to kind of what you were saying when we were catching up, um spiritual journey and healing is not linear.
Correct.
So you can always every day you're healing, you're learning. It's not something where and a lot of people get it where like yeah they're on a spiritual journey and they think that it's over once you feel like oh like you're happy, but it's never over. Life is always changing, you're always changing. So yeah, 2020 I was with an ex that
The
was really,
X.
yeah, it's always the exes that actually piqued my interest into spiritual journey and opening my mind. And even being as a kid, when it comes to spirituality versus religion, which I could very get deep into, but when it comes into that, it's like I've always been curious and always questioning Christianity and stuff like that. So I feel like spirituality as a whole, it's always been here. It's not like a general thing like religion where there's like Christianity and then there's Catholic and then there's Buddhism and all that. Like
Sorry, Buddhism.
what? Is it wrong?
I don't know. Is it Buddhism?
Is it?
I don't
Now
know.
you got me questioning. Well, yeah, because there's Hinduism, there's Buddha. Yeah, it is Buddhism. You know what? We probably have to cut that out.
It's
Anyways, um, if I said it wrong, whatever.
it is what it
Buddhist,
is. Buddhist,
whatever.
Buddhism. You guys know what we
Buddhism,
mean.
Buddhism. You know what? Anyways, we just woke up.
Literally.
But yeah, so like spirituality,
Is like kind of a collective of all
yeah,
the
it's literally everything. It's just people differentiated it to a new age practice, and that's something that I really can't stand to hear because it's never been a new age practice. It's always been that until someone decided to change it and bring in religion and following a certain person, when literally spirituality is just you taking your path and you just going in it. Now, there's people that believe in God. Me personally, I don't believe in God being a he, she,
just an
whatever. I
entity.
just feel like God is within me,
Amen.
and I don't think of God as a he or a person because that's another thing to dive into. But my relationship with God is not generally like you have to worship this person.
Okay.
No, it's like I'm worshiping life itself.
Amen. I think
So,
there's a little bit of God in all of us. He speaks to us through each other. And I do think, like, I do refer to God as a he, like a divine being. I don't know why. Probably because that's how he is in the Bible. But yes, I agree. Like, there's not necessarily a gender on God, and to each person, God could be a little different. And I do
mhm,
believe he is, or the entity is.
mhm, mhm, which
So,
is fine. I feel like it becomes a thing when, like, when it comes to like Christianity, people are telling you like no, like there's dead ass people that will tell you like no, it's this is who it is.
correct.
It's he, it's he, it's he, it's he,
Yes.
and stuff like that. And like they're not as open minded. And I feel like that's the other thing, given the fact that we actually been converted to religions. And especially since I have some background when I was attending school and taking an art history class,
Mm.
that also opened my mind a little bit more to see like we literally were converted to believing in this person because someone else said so, and that's what made everyone closed minded as well. And
Yeah, I call that like I find value in every religion, and I don't think one is superior to the other. So
mhm,
when religions, like let's say Catholicism, I call it religious intolerance, is that they
mhm,
think you are going to hell or you are not worthy of going to heaven if you maybe deviate from the standards that they set forth or have within a religion very strictly that they might follow as an individual.
mhm,
It's like, see, no, I'm spiritual, so I feel like there's value in everything.
literally. And I feel like even then too, when they talk about, oh, you're going to hell or you're going to heaven, literally we're in hell right now. You guys realize that, right? Like hell on earth for real. Like everything that's going on, like come on. We got to I get it, but like even so to bring into that too. So I used to work at the post office,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, so I had a supervisor that was in the military and he died 2 times.
Oh.
and he's obviously back to life. But um he told me that he did not experience, you know how they say you'll meet God when you die or and stuff like
Yeah.
that. He did not have that experience at all. He said that he was like not necessarily in a limbo or purgatory,
Okay.
but like just in a state where he did see people and tried to interact with them, but he couldn't hear them, but he saw their auras and he
Oh,
walked past through them and felt their auras too.
I feel like that's
So,
like kind of in the same concept of like astral projection where
mhm,
your spirit leaves your body and you are in the realm of the physical, but you can't like touch anything, but you're presently somewhere else, just
mhm,
not in your body.
yeah.
I'm like, that's pretty cool.
And if you think about it, I feel like when it comes to paranormal activity and stuff like that, like they say like this person just hasn't crossed over because they're not at peace. But what if it's just they're coming back to this realm? Because they also say like you have past lives, and a lot of people remember their past lives that they lived, whether they were a bird or
What do you think you were in a past life?
honestly, that's a good question.
I already know what I was in a past life.
I feel like a lot of me wants to say like I was really an Egyptian for
Oh,
real.
okay.
Like I don't know. Like every time people talk about that, I feel like for me, I was in Egypt somewhere, like doing something. Like not necessarily royalty, but in a sense, I was
Okay.
still royalty.
Okay.
But like they say, like you reincarnate or
Yes.
you pick your story. So every time you die, you pick a story to learn something new. And that's something I resonate with. And that's another thing within spiritual journeys that we're always questioning our purpose. So, as I was saying earlier, like I was crying and I was questioning my purpose. Like, what is my purpose here? Because low key, I'm also the eldest sister. So,
Me too.
a lot of us, we were given just this role to be the leader and
Take
stuff
care
like
of your
that.
little
Yeah.
siblings and your
And
parents rely on you.
parent your parents.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
it's another thing because now who do we really have to rely on? We can only really rely on ourselves and stuff like that. And we're
Literally.
out seeking from other people and like we're always taking the hit. And
Correct.
for me, it's like I feel like I know what my purpose is, but at the same time, it's like, really, what is it? Like, what am I really doing here? Because I feel like I'm always stepping and I'm going and I'm successful, and then I'm kicked a few steps back.
I feel like that's part of the spiritual journey because sometimes you do realize, like, oh, what I thought I wanted, I no longer want.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize it's kind of feels like an epiphany when you realize what you thought you wanted is no longer what you want. You have to redefine, like, oh, this is what I actually want.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, similarly, up until after a situationship I was in, I always said I didn't want kids. I didn't want a family. It was very, very feminist of me.
Yeah.
um, and it was actually that situationship that propelled me into my spiritual journey. And I literally had to redefine, oh, what do I actually want? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And it feels scary when you're like, oh, I've always wanted or not wanted this, but now maybe I do.
Mm-hmm.
How do I accept that, and why? What changed my thinking towards this?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. For me, it's like, when we're little girls, we always wanted to be married and have kids and stuff like that. And my plan when I was a teenager was by 23, I'm married. By 25, I have my kids. And then we're living, having the house, blah, blah, blah. I'm 25 right now. I'm single. I have no kids. I'm grateful to not have any kids dealing with the men that I was dealing with. But, like, it's like now, like, sometimes I feel like, I want to be the rich auntie. But at the same time, it's like I know, especially we're women. Like we generally, there's some women that don't want to have kids, but they probably still have the thought back in their mind.
I believe that it's our
Yeah,
biological nature to want to have kids,
yeah,
and that society has led women to believing that they shouldn't, or
Mhm.
it's it's not affordable, or all these things, or the world is overheating, and why would you have a child in this planet if it's not going to survive? And it's just like, well, then if not to reproduce, what is your purpose on this earth?
Yeah, that is
That's very
true.
biblical of me, I know.
But it does make sense, and I feel like especially now too, like I'm kind of in the mindset of I don't want to have kids right now with everything going on because things are changing, things are
Do you
getting
mean for you
worse.
personally, or you just mean world as a whole? Like when you say things are changing, do you mean for you like as an individual, or do you mean for like society and like
I would say both
both? Okay.
because we're seeing what Trump's doing.
Just to be
This
clear to all our viewers, are you anti-Trump or are you pro-Trump?
I am fucking anti-Trump. I'm anti any president. Like it's all just dictator. That's another conversation. It's all just dictatorship. And really, like for me, really, we need a reset. And I really need people to band together and actually open their eyes and their mind. I'm tired. I'm not gonna say wake up, be woke. No, like just you have to be open minded and you have to see past everything that's going on
I
and
agree.
really like sit down and think like is this really how we should be living?
I agree. And not be too intolerant to people's views who don't necessarily align with yours.
Mm,
And it's okay to agree to disagree, but it doesn't have to be like a personal attack
exactly.
if
Like
you don't
just
agree.
learn.
Yeah, like if you don't agree with something, like might as well call it a day with that person to some people. But for me, it's like we might not agree on everything, and we still respect each other's opinions. And
Yep.
I feel like a lot of people don't do that.
A lot of people are very passionate, and I understand. There, it's okay to be passionate, but it's another thing when you're badgering it. There's no reason for us to be saying no, 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 no. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Correct.
No, relax. Pipe down. Calm down. It's all right. Just be like, you know what? I agree to disagree, and here's why. And
It
if
doesn't make you less of a person.
it doesn't,
To
it's
like the other person might paint you as something because you don't agree with them, but that's them projecting their value system onto you, and that's not fair.
and we're all a mirror to each other.
Correct. And in relation to that, I do feel like that's part of your spiritual journey is self-awareness and not letting people's differing opinions affect how you feel or how you walk on this earth as an individual,
Yeah.
because a lot of people take things personally, and it's like it's not personal.
That actually ties into that like this book that I was reading, The Four Agreements. I
Oh, I'm
haven't
reading
finished
that
it.
too.
Okay.
What page are you on?
We'll come back to
Okay.
that. But so I think I'm rereading it because
Okay,
I
me too.
read it and I stopped
Same.
and then I like I didn't even get past like chapter 2, so I'm
Yeah,
trying to reread
I
it.
think I'm around like chapter 2 right now, page 50ish.
Okay,
Yeah,
so but literally the first chapter it talks about not taking things personally,
correct.
and I feel like that is another thing within your spiritual journey because like for me another reason why I was crying is because I was taking things personally and like
She's also a Cancer.
yeah, that's why I said I'm an emotional baddie. But anyways, so I'm still learning that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like once you stop taking things personally, it reduces your stress levels.
And that comes to your self awareness, which some people may not start to be fully aware of until they start their spiritual journey and healing
Mm-hmm.
or working on things that maybe they're not good at. And then they become a little more emotionally intelligent, or realizing, hey, they said this to me. Maybe it's because of how they felt, not necessarily what I did. So maybe it's not as
Mm-hmm.
personal as you might have taken it. And then it's like a moment of reflection. You can ground yourself, you can be mindful of what you feel, and then ask yourself, well, why did I feel this way when they did X, Y, and Z or said X, Y, and Z?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Mm-hmm.
part of the spiritual journey?
Yeah, and I feel like I've been doing that lately, and that's why. Okay, so like in terms of relationships,
Okay.
Yeah, I cut the guy off
This is the most recent
because
guy or your
yeah,
ex?
the most
Most
recent
okay.
guy. So I cut him off because like I don't know, I was just taking things personally. And I'm just like, he's a busy man and stuff like that.
You're a busy girl.
I'm a busy girl, but I've never dealt with a busy man. So it's
Mm,
like I'm understanding, but at the same time, I'm taking things personally.
okay.
And that's kind of like the downfall. But it's also like, I feel like, yeah, you're getting to know someone, but you should still be putting in some work for it. For me, like, when I say that, it's like, okay, all right, there's a lot of people that are like me, whether you're a Cancer or not, a water sign or not. But it's like once you like someone, like you like them, so you're going to like act like do a lot of things, like be too much. There's nothing wrong with being too much. You're just enough. If they think you're doing too much, is because you're just not enough for them.
That's
You're
a
enough
very
for
water
someone else.
sign mentality.
Hey,
From my air sign perspective.
hey. But like, so I like him. So like, I just feel like I was initiating things more than he was, and I feel like
It wasn't reciprocated.
yeah, like I'm initiating the date. Like I'm still in my masculine is the point that I'm gonna get to.
That's a great point to make.
Because like at first, like when I met him, I'm like, oh my god,
Oh
I'm
my
in my
god.
feminine, blah, blah, blah. But then I'm like, I'm sitting back and I'm like, why am I still in my masculine initiating things and stuff like that? Like I should not be having to beg or be reminding you on how to plan a date.
Correct.
I should not be having to like remind you to not be doing weird shit.
can
Like
you can you elaborate on weird shit?
yeah, so the weird things that he was doing, I can't believe this. It's like I don't know, like he said that, he put his phone on do not disturb. You are entitled to put your phone on do not disturb. I be doing it cuz sometimes I don't want to be dealing with people. That's a-okay. But if we're talking and you haven't done that within the 2 weeks that we've been talking, and then you all of a sudden do it, I'm gonna question that. I feel like at least give someone a heads up, or like I don't know. I just feel like it's you don't owe me nothing, but like it's kind of like that's weird.
So that's an expectation, an
Yeah,
unrealistic one because you like him.
I guess. But no,
But
but
that's like
yeah,
I feel like a very common thing for girls and guys is like when they start talking right away off the bat, we do have expectations of what we'd like from this person.
yeah.
And with the age of instant communication, yeah, it might not feel good when you are a excellent texter and he is not.
Yeah. But the thing is too, like we do talk every day. It was just like he
Okay.
was going to sleep,
Okay.
whatever. That's fine. I get it. But it's just it was just weird to me. And then like another thing was that like he just randomly blocked me from his story,
That was
and
weird.
women are FBI agents. Let me yell it to the mic. We are FBI agents. We will find anything.
Oh, 100%.
I will
Me,
find who your mother is.
who your mom is, where
Without
she lives, her
yeah,
mailing
like
address, how much you pay for your car taxes. Believe me, these are all
whoa,
things I've
that's
looked up.
crazy. Car taxes is crazy. But yes,
If you
if
have any criminal cases, believe me, I will know.
we will find out. You think the FBI agents are hijacking your phone? No, it's women.
It's us.
We will find everything about you. Crazy or whatever you want to call it.
We like to know.
But yeah.
We like to know.
Yeah. So I found my ways on finding out why he did that, and it's like, why would you do that? And he said he didn't even know why he did that, which makes zero sense. I
See, yes, that's the thing. If us ladies are gonna call men out on not being what we'd like them to be, they better be accountable, if not nothing else. So don't lie to us when we already know.
Literally, women's intuition too. Please. Women's intuition. We already know. We already know. Just don't fucking lie. When you lie, oh, I gotta bleep that out. When you lie, when you lie, we already know you're lying. So just tell the truth. It's not hard. People in general, women too, it is not hard to just tell the truth. I'd rather be hurt knowing the truth than being overly hurt with a lie.
I agree. I think my intuition or ladies' intuition is our biggest superpower, and mine never lies to me. I don't know about you.
No, mine don't be lying.
Mine has been 100% accurate, and yes, we be ignoring it.
Yes, we ignore it, ladies. I know.
We
And
shouldn't.
then we find out,
For
after.
like a week or
But
two, like, damn, I should have listened to my gut.
yeah, but literally, men, we have women's intuition. Like, we already know that you're BSing us. Just stop. Just tell the truth. Anyone, women too, tell the truth to men. If they're asking you a question, just tell them the truth. Like,
Yes, ladies, because
just
we be lying too. You
just
know
tell the
it.
truth. It's not hard to tell the truth. It's really not. People make it so like this big thing. It's just tell the truth.
And
I'd
that,
rather be
yeah,
told the truth.
that's part of like the spiritual journey too, is like being truthful with yourself and realizing, hey, for my spirit, it's better if I tell the truth, even if it doesn't feel good, because then at least you have integrity.
Yeah. And like I told him the truth about I made a pros and cons list. Cuz like I started to feel like cuz I felt like I was still like in my masculine that like I was starting not to like him.
Okay. Did you feel
And
like because you're still living in your masculine that he was doing things that was like too feminine for you?
not too feminine. I just feel like he just wasn't taking the lead that much.
So, okay, so a good like tip for listeners, like if you ever feel like you're living in your masculine, like kind of like how you were doing with him, like him, he's not taking lead, just fall back and let's see what happened. That's part of, the spiritual journey is letting go, because not everything is in your control. And for you, it's definitely a benefit that you can acknowledge, like, oh my gosh, I'm in my masculine, and like just communicating like with him
Hmm.
and like calling him out, just like you learn. So for the next guy who comes around, you readjust.
Yeah. So so I told him that I made a pros and cons list about him.
Oh,
And
I
he
love
did
that.
not like that. I get it. I
Oh,
understand. At
oh,
least I told the truth because I just initially I told him like I was thinking about things and then he asked me what am I thinking about? And I just said that I'm making a pros and cons list about him.
oh.
And he did not it made him feel some type of way. I get that.
How would you feel
But
if a man told you he made a pros and cons list about you?
I mean,
I
I'll
feel
be like, what's on it?
oh.
But he did ask me what's on the cons, and I said he don't need to know that. But I mean, either it's mentally or you actually writing it out. I wrote mines out,
I write mine out.
so. But hey, the point is that I'm trying to make is at least I was honest because I could have just said nothing
So
or
I'm gonna try to get into a man's perspective. If a girl were to tell me that she was making a pros and cons list about me, I think as a man, I would probably feel some type of way about that, only because it's letting me know as a man you're not sure about me. Is that fair to say that a man might think that if a woman told him that?
that is fair because I am not sure about you. At this point, I have to make a pros and cons list. But he did say he was like, um, that he hasn't sat down to think about that and like,
What, like how his
uh,
actions were affecting you,
no,
or
he hasn't sat down to make a pros and cons list. That he just wants to focus on the good, and I get that.
that's such a man thing to say, though.
Okay, I'm gonna jump into that because okay, so I also told my dad, and my
Okay,
dad said um that basically men determine the relationship, which
I agree.
I agree, especially because they are giving us the ring. We are not asking them to marry us.
That's right.
Some women are starting to, but
No, let's not normalize that.
yeah, I will never ask a man to marry me.
Absolutely not.
I feel like it's more romantic when men do things, you
Because they're
know.
supposed to.
Yeah.
I believe in
So,
generals.
yeah. So, my dad was telling me about it, and I was like, yeah, because that makes sense. And I feel like I know there's a thing where yes, women are the prize, but it's both ways.
I
To be
agree.
honest with me, I started to open my mind to that, and men and women are both the prize to each other,
100%.
especially if you're willing to work on building a relationship together with said person that you feel like this is your person. So,
And that person, like, you might meet them and it might be tumultuous to start because it's probably going to be scary. You're both bringing each other's authentic selves out that you might not usually be
yeah.
living in. And they say a lot of the times it doesn't work out the first time with this person.
And that's why, okay, so that's why I'm just like, but like, okay, into that point, it's just like I'm rethinking my decision on cutting him off. Cause it's like, I don't know, like every how we met and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And like it just felt like red string theory for me.
Can you
And
explain that for me and the listeners? Because I don't know what it is for sure.
so red string theory is basically like a red string is holding you and your soulmate or your person by a red thread until you actually meet each other. So like you could walk past this person multiple times or you could be in the same room
Oh,
with
okay.
this person but you don't know who they are. So, in terms of me and him, we have been in the same room, but he said that he remembers seeing me, but I don't remember seeing him at all. He said that he was at an event I was at and he was right next to me, but it's a it's in the air for me because I don't remember. And then like he said that he's been to the same gym and I don't remember ever seeing him in the gym, stuff like that. So it's like then we eventually met at another event and we started talking and literally we're like the same person. So I just feel like when it comes to that too, like what you said, um, I did cut him off and I did voice that. So before I would never be that type of person. So that's something I'm learning. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, like I feel like he kind of is my person, but we just both still have things to work on.
Oh, I feel you on that. I know what you
And
mean.
yeah, and like I do want to have a deeper conversation and tell him like I have expectations, but I'm also giving you grace. But at the same time, like I need you to get yourself together because it's like I like you. I like you. I want to do things with you. Blah blah blah. Like everybody feels that way, but I feel like yeah, you're busy, but in a sense like you should still make time for
I
me.
agree. I'm big on the if you wanted to, you would. As someone myself who's very busy, if I meet a man and I'm genuinely interested in him, I genuinely like him, it's no time that's off limit. I will make the time.
I'm
It's that
literally
simple.
texting you in a second. I can't do the hours later or nothing. No. Once I like you, like there's people that are nonchalant and can do that. I'm very chalant. Like
She's the opposite.
I'm very chalant. Like you will not question if I like you unless it's like you're repeatedly doing things and then you see my energy shift, which he did see
Okay.
it shift and was like, "Why are you being so standoffish?" Well, if you open your eyes a little bit.
And yeah, part of living in your feminine is not being standoffish. It's well, I say trusting in God if you believe in God and trust in that you're on the right path and journey for yourself. Life course. Like you're doing what you're supposed to do, and if it's meant to be, it will work out. But you have to hold yourself accountable the same way you want him to be accountable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, how did I contribute to us getting here, even though I was showing up based on how he was showing up? You know what I mean? I had to learn that myself recently.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to I used to not take accountability on things until I realized like yeah, cuz my ex he would tell me, "Oh, you got to take accountability on things." And there's like some things there's to a point. There's some things that yes, you have to take accountability on, but there's other things it's like but really I did not.
Nope. We're gonna ignore that last sentence.
What? No, but think about it. In some aspects, it's like generally, what do I need to take accountability on in terms of they started something?
If okay, give a situation, give a scenario, and I will tell you if in that scenario there's still room for you to take accountability in too.
In a sense, yes, but okay. Getting cheated on.
Okay, in what capacity? Emotionally, physically,
Physically, getting
physically?
cheated on. Literally,
Is that a
them
deal
meeting
breaker for
another
you?
person. Yes, I cannot. Cheating is like I cannot. I used to okay. I was with someone, they cheated on me. We used
Once?
to no, multiple times.
Okay.
But that was when I was more young and dumb. And I ended up cheating back.
Oh,
Hey, I was young and dumb. But
once?
maybe
No, multiple times.
twice. Maybe like once or twice. Sometimes it's just like talking to people. One time is what
Okay, so I don't
another
think
person.
talking to people is cheating.
You don't think so? I feel
Like if
like
you're
it
in a
is.
committed relationship, what do you mean? Like talking, like saying thank you to a DM, or
No, I mean like literally getting to know someone else while you're with someone.
that is cheating.
Yes.
That is cheating. I agree. That is cheating.
But okay, how should I? Okay. So in terms of that, in terms of talking to someone and someone like swipes up onto your story and says they're cute and you say thank you.
Or like the message, or
Yeah.
like let's say you don't even say thank you. Let's just say you like the
Yeah.
message. Is that cheating or?
I don't think that's cheating because you are not following through with it. Now, if you're following through with it, like going deep and like getting to know that person and all that other stuff, yeah, there's something wrong with you
Yes, I do
because
think that is a level of cheating. I think for me, if I was in a relationship, if my man was having deep conversations with another girl, I definitely would be like, yeah, no, because I like my man to be obsessed with me.
yeah, if you're not obsessed with me, leave.
Correct. Correct.
Cuz clearly I'm obsessed with you. Hello? Like
Yes, I think I'm loyal to a fault when I like a guy, and I hate that for myself, but I also love it for me because I do like respect men and respect them to lead.
I respect myself, so why would I not respect you?
I also respect myself, but there's a part in me that's like, if my man was honest with me, I'm not sure that in air quotes cheating would be a deal breaker. If he asked me that he wanted to do something and I wasn't necessarily down for it, who am I to deny him from having that experience? And that's just kind of where I'm at right now, probably because I am super duper single. But like as of right now, I can't say that's necessarily a deal breaker. Only spiritually, it would be something for me to consider because of energy transference. So it's like you're taking on this person's energy and now you might be bringing it back to me. So I'm iffy, but I think it depends on who I end up with.
I am not iffy.
She's very clear.
I am monogamous and only monogamous. I will not be like
Polly.
poly relationships are not for me. I do not do threesomes. Don't ask me.
I
No,
definitely would be down for one
I would not.
if I it was a girl that I really liked and a man that we both were interested in. I can't say I would not be down for that.
Sorry, I cannot. Especially with the soul. No, no. I'm sorry. There's too much energies being transferred.
With 3 people?
Yeah. What do you mean? Yes.
Like maybe if it was like 4 or 5.
No. Energy gets transferred at any given point in time, whether it's just you and one person. Like,
Ooh, we're sharing energy right now.
yeah. In terms of sex, guys. So I've actually okay. So what's her name? I think it's Tracy Haddish? Hadish?
I'm really bad at celebrity names.
If you guys know who I'm talking about, she's like I forgot what movie she's in. I think she's in this show. Is it Insecure? I think it's the
Oh,
show Insecure when she like talks about the baby and she's like, I don't give a fuck about that baby or something like that.
which one? You said Insecure. It's not Issa Rae. Was it her friend?
Was it Issa Rae?
Issa Rae, the main lead in that show?
Honestly, I don't remember. Whoever this lady is with the mole, she's a black lady with the mole. She's really funny.
That's very
That's very
unspecific.
that I'm sorry guys. Someone will know who I'm talking about, hopefully. But she was on this podcast and she was talking about like when you have sex with someone and basically, especially when a man ejaculates in you,
You start to change. You like him more. Your
not
body
even
opens up
just
to
that.
him.
Another thing is like, you know how people in relationships they start to look alike?
Yes,
It's
it's very weird.
because, yes, it's because you're changing, not necessarily into that man. Like women start to look like the men. Basically, what she was saying is because, like, their DNA is getting swapped into yours and
Correct.
stuff like that. So that's another reason why, even if you use protection, you're still,
Taking on their
yeah, you're
energy,
still taking on their energy, but it's different when you're getting
getting
ejaculated
cream
in.
pies. Don't get cream pies,
Don't
ladies.
give cream pies unless it's your man for real. But so yeah, like your energy is getting swapped. I'm not gonna be with someone where they're constantly swapping energies with people and stuff like that. And I've even noticed like there have been times where yeah, I wanted to blow off steam and I've done it, but protectively, but I still started to see that. And she said like it stays within you for 6 weeks.
It
So,
does.
so
It takes after you are done fucking with a man raw.
yeah,
Takes about, I'd say, 6 weeks is the minimum, up to 3 months for him to like fully, like, his scent to be gone from you and you to
yeah.
like fully remove his energy from your body.
Mm-hmm.
But like life force wise, like, it's something men play around with too much, and I think they should be more picky with who they put it into.
Yes, and that's gonna go into another topic. But so, like, you're having their energy. So if they're depressed,
Correct.
now you're gonna be depressed,
Yep.
and it's like that's why they talk about celibacy and what's the other word?
Abstinence.
Abstinence.
Yes.
Basically, for me, celibacy, I've realized people get it mixed up. Abstinence is when you are waiting for a person or something like that, and celibacy is like religious, like
Yeah, celibacy is
Christianity.
definitely very
Yeah,
religious based. You're doing
yeah.
it for religious purposes, and
Hmm.
then abstaining is just you're not doing it, but not for any particular reason, or you might just be waiting for like the next person to come around to do
Yeah.
it with.
Okay. So that was your definition. So stop getting it confused. um, but I'm pretty much in my abstinent journey. Um, I don't like to hop person to person.
Is and that's based
That's,
off because you're on your spiritual journey.
that too, and just who I am. Like
I'm the same way
I just feel like
now.
if I'm yeah, if
Now,
I'm like before, yeah, I was like
yeah. When we
being
were younger,
stupid. We're all young and dumb.
when we were younger, it didn't really matter. I'm here
Yeah,
for a good time, not a long time.
yeah. But now I'm here for a good time and a long time,
Same,
guys.
same. It
I
means a lot
want
more.
to be married. I want to have a child or at least 2 children.
Is that your minimum? I
Yes.
want 4+.
No. Absolutely not.
I also want to get married and have a bunch of babies sooner rather than later. But similarly, I'm also very single.
Yes.
Very, very single.
I don't want to wait until I'm like 30 or 40. I mean,
40 is
life
pushing
starts,
it.
yeah, I know. But some people do it. Hey,
Good for
not
them.
me.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, not me. I do want to get married. I wanted to be married first
Same.
or, have a home first,
Same.
then get married,
Then,
then have kids. I
yes.
do not want to I'm not doing,
Same.
there's no baby mama, baby daddy here. No. No.
We appreciate the baby moms and the baby dads.
I appreciate y'all, but it comes to a point.
Correct. Like, you just couldn't be with me. Period.
There's no reason to be having 3 baby mamas, 3 baby daddies.
Correct.
Guys, we gotta wrap it up.
I want all my kids to have the same dad and grow up under the same household.
Same name in terms of last name
Correct.
and stuff like that. Like, I want it to be generally loving, just a loving atmosphere.
And them to see their two parents together, and that's what some people have debates about, is the nuclear family. But as much as society has gotten us away from that, some of us are still traditional and believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that's how it should be done for the sake of your kids and society.
Literally, because as we see, Me personally, I did not have my dad at a period of time, and we reconnected. So that's been going good. He's been
And
doing.
do you
Go ahead.
think that like reconnecting with your dad has helped in your spiritual journey at all, like for you as an individual or
Yeah, I will say since we connected this year, he's definitely opening my mind to other topics. Like, we could talk about relationships, or we could talk about religion, or we could talk about other things, and it's not a thing where he's like, you're my daughter, you need to listen to me. No, he's not doing that. It's more so he realizes I'm grown,
correct?
and but like sometimes we have conversations where we're like, I agree to disagree, or I don't really know about that. Can you elaborate more, or stuff like that? Like, it's a thing where he respects what I say, and I respect what he says. He says, and yeah, like sometimes he'll be like, "Well, I'm going into dad mode," and he tells me what he thinks
Thanks
as
as a
a
dad.
father mode, and then he goes back to just conversating. And I feel like it's helping me, especially in terms of my relationships, and being more, I don't know, being more open to what to accept from a man, what not to accept from a man.
Hmm.
Do I wish I had that when I was younger? Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
But, not everybody has that. And not everybody has a chance to reconnect with their parents at all, because, some of their parents have passed away, or,
Correct.
they're dealing with other things, or they are in the system and stuff like that. So,
And a
I,
lot of
yeah.
people's parents are also unhealed. They come from a different generation. They don't have the resources and the tools that we have access to now.
Hmm.
And it's like you might be on your spiritual journey, you might be healing, growing, being a better person. Your parents are still who they were 20 years ago.
Yeah. They don't want to open their mind. They don't want to listen to what you have to say. It's just strictly what they think or what they've been
Correct.
through. And
No opposition. They don't
yeah.
want to hear it. Like they'll always believe in the parent child relationship dynamic. However, it's just like your parents have to grow with you. They can't stay the same, even though some of them do.
Hmm.
And I'll say I'm very fortunate with both mine because I could talk to them about anything, like an
Yeah.
adult, tell them that they're wrong, whatever. And it's very
Yes.
like very cool now because they're not necessarily like they're still my parent, but they don't parent me. So it's like we
Yes.
have that respectful. I don't agree with this. Here's why, and
Yeah.
whatever, we'll still get in little spats or arguments, but it's
Hmm.
never like ever that deep.
Yeah. Because for me, realistically, both my parents gave me a little bit of trauma, mostly my dad, but I still dealt with trauma with both of them. But I've clinged to my mother more because she is my mom, and like, she doesn't do me dirty, and she takes care of me and stuff like that. So it's like she still have some faults, and I told her, and
What's her sign?
she's Aquarius. So yeah. Um yeah. My dad's a
Oh.
Libra, so yeah.
She got
Yeah.
two air signs as her parents.
Yeah. And here I am, water.
Yeah, not a good mix
Oh.
at all.
So they don't be listening sometimes, but I there was one time that I had to sit my mom down, and I told her, like, you're still at fault for things too. And then she, at first, she was like, oh, no, I'm not. Nah, nah, nah. And then I told her about herself, and she was like, you know what? You're right. And I am sorry. And she's working on it, and she's doing her thing. She's still a great mom, and I really love my mom.
Yeah, and I
And
think that's part of like the spiritual journey as well is like accepting your parents for who they were back then,
yeah, because
giving them grace.
this is their first time on earth too.
Yeah, like you could have been their first kid and they were still learning.
Yeah, and they had me when they were like 19, 20. Well, 20. So it's like they were still young. Have I surpassed them? Yes. Because I have no kids.
Me as well. My mom had 3 kids by the time she was our age,
Wow.
25. So I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. I need to catch up already. So
Yeah. So like, no shame, but but no, but like, being able to have that dynamic now is great. Like, I'm very appreciative of it. I forgave him. I'm
and
grown. It's
and
like,
yeah, that's definitely part of the like the journey of growth is like forgiving your parents for maybe how they treated you or the things you perceive that they did wrong when you were a child,
mhm,
and being like, you know what, I accept that version of them. Of course, to heal, always bring it up if you think it's necessary in your journey, but sometimes too as an adult you have to ask yourself, is bringing this up worth the turmoil that it could create, or should I just forgive them for my own spirit to move forward
yes,
in life and curate better relationships that maybe your parents weren't able
yeah.
to.
And I will say, I have not brought up at all the reason why I stopped talking to my dad or nothing like that. Like, we just jumped into conversating and talking and seeing each other. Like, you can have that conversation. You're entitled to if you want to. You don't have to. And even then, yes, you could forgive your parents, grandparents, whoever. Doesn't mean that you have to talk to them either. You
Correct.
could just forgive them. You could see them and say like, "Hey, I forgive you, but I'm just not going to be in contact with you." And that's okay too for your
Mm-hmm.
mental health. Um
I agree because yeah, if these people aren't growing with you or trying to better themselves or improve themselves in those aspects and you
mhm.
are, I think the best thing you can do is keep your distance. And you can still be around them for a family function or talk to them, but
Mhm.
you don't have to like maintain or create some new relationship with them if it's not healthy or
No.
productive.
Yeah. Especially if they're just still stuck in their ways, just let it go.
Let it be.
Let it fly in there. It must have been the wind. Cuz yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like for me, like, back to, I do like him.
Still,
And
this is the guy
yeah,
you cut off, Mr. Capricorn.
yeah, Mr. Capricorn, I still like him. He's like, he's really like the man I've been manifesting. It's just like he still has his faults and I still have my faults. So it's like I want to have a deeper conversation with him and like let him know like this is why. Even though we kind of did talk about some things, there's like other things too that I won't really bring up, but like I just want to have a conversation and I want to see where his head's at because also I unfollowed him, but he's still watching my
Yo,
story. And I'm watching
yo,
his.
that's
So
wild.
it's like, oh,
Did you
hello.
wait? You unfollowed him? Did you remove him from your followers?
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah. And like the yesterday, he watched my story, and at first I wasn't gonna watch his, but then I was like, I'll just watch it
might
because
as
he
well.
watched
Might as
mine,
well.
and then he watched mine again, and I watched his again. It's just like, stop playing eye tag.
Maybe he didn't realize that you removed him and
Nah,
or
he
unfollowed
knew.
him. Because sometimes like if I remove someone or unfollow them, they might not peep it because they could have been searching up my name and just clicking on my story in their search thing. You
Nah,
know what I
he
mean?
knows.
Oh, oh,
Because
okay.
the first time I did it, he was like, "Oh, so we're not gonna talk. You're just gonna unfollow me," and I was like, I
I
mean,
guess so.
but that's another thing. Like, I'm quick to do that. Uh, I don't know. Like, that's a part of my letting go
I
process.
agree. As someone as who's spiritual as well, for me, if a man I feel slights me or hurts my feelings, which I try not to acknowledge, that is usually my go-to thing as well. Is remove them from my following and unfollow them because I no longer wish to see them. Don't lurk in my views.
Yeah.
Don't lurk on my page. Don't like my highlights. No, thank you.
Don't like my posts. Don't like nothing. But I don't know. I just feel like nobody else does that.
Well, unfollow.
No, like, okay, so I, like I said, I did end up breaking my abstinence at points and did have sex with people, and then I did cut them off, and they stopped watching my story and stuff like that, even though they noticed I unfollowed them or whatever, or they don't try to contact me. Like,
So it was mutual.
yeah,
Yeah,
well, some
or
people were
maybe
hurt
not.
by it.
Maybe
Whatever. But okay, so like I cut him off, and like I told him like I just don't think this is going how I thought it
mm-hmm.
would, and I I said the let's just be friends. Did not mean that.
Oh my gosh,
Not, I
no.
didn't mean it. I was just trying to be, nice.
We don't
Um
like being nice, ladies. No, we like being
Sometimes,
soft and standing on business. We don't
yeah.
settle for friendships. No.
I don't really want a friendship. Hello. I just want love. But I didn't word it as if, like, some people word it as we could still be friends if you want. Nah, I said we could still be friends, but then I unfollowed him.
I personally do
Yeah.
not believe in being friends with men, especially ones that I liked and or laid with.
It really does not work.
It doesn't work. I don't believe in it, and I think it's disrespectful to my future husband because I am moving with purpose for him.
Uh to that, I don't know how y'all doing it for
I don't
real.
know either. How do y'all man hop for real? No, no shade, but how do you do it
Not even just
spiritually?
that. Like, how can you be friends with your exes or someone that you talk to for real? Like,
I agree.
I really want to dissect that because like I just can't. I tried it. It does not
It
work.
doesn't work,
It doesn't work because you
and
either get back together or it just becomes more
that's
toxic or it's
a
just
situationship, you
nobody
know.
got time for that.
So I agree. I think that in society, like, there's nothing wrong with men and women being friends, but I do
Yeah.
believe there's always a person in that dynamic of a relationship that would definitely fuck the other person.
Oh yeah.
Like 100%. Typically,
Oh
it's the
yeah.
man. I feel like it's usually the man.
It's just in the nature. Men find attraction in anything and everything, and
Women don't.
yeah,
So,
like
like, for attraction features for you, what's the first thing like you notice when you like meet a guy, or like when what draws you to a man's energy?
I would say, like how they're dressed and like how clean you are. Like,
Like if they walk by you and you like smell them and they smell good by
uh,
cleanliness, or if they smile and those teeth are pearly.
for me, okay, generally, like I look at how you dress. I look at like your nails. Your nails. You don't have to have a manicure, but like your nails have to be clean.
And
Or
not bit down, chewed down to the
yeah,
halfway
like at
point.
least cut your nails, please. Um,
Not bite them, cut them.
with a nail clipper.
Correct.
Emphasis on the nail clipper,
Yeah,
not
literally.
your teeth. Okay.
Hmm.
Um,
So
your
those are the
hair.
things that
Yeah.
like initially
Teeth.
draw you to them.
Yep. If you smell good, you smell good. There's people that put on cologne. That's another thing. Perfumes and colognes, they go with your pheromones. So if you're
Correct.
wearing a cologne that you think smells good, I don't think it smells
It might not
good.
smell good.
No.
It might not.
There's some out there that smell really good on certain people. So, experiment.
Explore. Correct.
Yes.
Explore them.
Experiment with that. But yeah, I look into that. And like how you are as a person, like how you conversate with people, and like how nice you are to people. Like
Okay.
before, when I was younger and my man held the door for another woman, I would be petty. But now
Oh,
it's like,
oh.
now as I've grown, if you're respectful for what to women, I like that. But don't be overly friendly.
Comment below if you think your man or woman should or shouldn't hold the door for somebody else.
You definitely can. Before, the old me would be like, "Why are you holding the door for that girl?" The new me is like, "I like that. Thank
Okay.
you for your services."
I love it when a man opens the door for me, holds the door for me, all that stuff. It's I like that.
I've never had that really before, so when the Capricorn did it, I was like, "Oh,
It's nice.
yeah,
This is nice.
yeah." He was like low key looking at me because I was reaching for the door, and he's like, "Hello," like I'm trying to open it. I'm like, "Oh, my bad." Like,
Yeah. Yeah, ladies, don't settle for less. You let that man open the door for you. Order. See, I'm traditional. He can order my food for me.
okay, so our first date. A lot of people say this is not a first date. I think any date that's like intimate is a date. Like
I
you don't
agree.
have to spend 10K on me going on dinner. Like
I
I don't
honestly
need
could
that.
care less for men to spend their money.
Yeah.
It's more of a thought and an effort thing.
Yeah.
So it's like if we go for a walk or something, to me that's a good enough date for me. Like, and I don't mean good enough in a bad way. I mean like that's actually something I prefer
Yes.
than going out and sitting across from each other and
Yeah.
chewing and having to eat perfectly
Yeah.
and
Honestly, I don't care if you see me eating. I know a lot of girls, they like to be pretty eating. Bitch, just eat. Uh, cause you don't do that at home. Just
Correct.
eat your food. If he don't like it, leave him. He don't like
Correct.
the way you're chewing.
Goodbye.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Someone will. But our first date was at Starbucks. I'm a Starbucks
Okay,
girl,
that's a
so
that's a cool
yeah.
date. I don't see
We
anything.
sat outside and we were talking. That's something that I like. And he was like, well, he obviously doesn't know my order, so he was like, "You order what you want, and you pay, and I'll pay for it." But I didn't really hear the "I'll pay for" it part, so I was getting ready to pay for my own drink, and he was like, "No, no, no, I'll pay for it." I was like, "Oh,
See, I don't even
okay."
do the pull my purse out card thing anymore. I do have that expectation on a date with a man, and if he doesn't, I just simply, again, what you see on social media all the time is, I didn't realize you wanted to be friends. I got it, don't worry. And then you just never go on a date with him again.
um, but yeah, like so that's something like I'm not used to, so like it's a new thing for me.
Good girl,
Um,
good. That's stepping out of your masculine and letting your feminine just be soft. Like, you know what? It's a Starbucks coffee. He can afford it. It's less than $10. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And he invited you on the date, right? Oh, okay.
That's where it's
Okay.
like, you know, the thing is like, oh, let's go to Starbucks or something. What is the or something?
Yeah, I don't really like that. Men, if you're going to ask us on a date, you need to be clear,
Be
particular, and precise. We like
lead. Just
you.
lead. Just
Correct.
say I'm taking. Be ready at 5 o'clock, and we're going to Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like don't say or something. Don't. It's a thing where it's like that's my thing. Like I'm saying like, oh, I think we should do this, or what if we do this, or blah blah blah. Like I'm bringing it up to you when you could just be like, hey, be ready at 5 o'clock.
It could be simple.
Yeah, you don't even have to pick me up. Honestly, you can if you want to, but I would rather much meet you there until we are deep in connection where you're driving me around and I'm your
I
passenger princess.
am as well.
Because I'm the type of person, if I'm not feeling the vibe, I'm getting up and leaving.
Correct.
Or my social battery is draining, I'm out of there. So I know some ladies, they're like, you have to pick me up, stuff like that.
I don't like giving my address to men.
Yeah,
My
until
ex
we're
would show up
serious.
here unannounced, bang on the
Yeah,
windows, knock on the
I'm
fucking
over that.
door. We don't need that,
I'm
men.
not I'm not doing the toxic anymore.
Correct. Don't show
Unless
up.
you're coming up with some flowers and be like, "Hey, there's something outside for you."
Yeah.
Okay. But nah. So we could meet there. You could just be like, "Hey, be ready for 5. We're going to meet at Starbucks." And yeah, like
Lead the way.
please.
Make it clear that you're interested in us and that you like us.
Yeah.
And that's the thing people forget too. Liking someone is just that. You like them. There's no commitment in liking someone. You could stop liking them the very next day. So please be clear that you like us and you're interested in us and you'd like to get us to know us on a deeper level.
Please. Like yeah, you could, and even though you say that, please stand on it.
Stand on
Mean
business.
it. Affirm it, claim it, manifest it. Like, don't just tell me that you like me and then you're still not doing anything. There's no, there's, I also don't like, oh, if I can.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
It's either you can or you can't.
Correct.
So don't say the word if ticks me off. And that's another thing. He would say like if I can see you on Saturday cuz I even sent him my whole schedule for the month.
See, I do that with the men too, and I feel like it overwhelms them. I think we
Hmm.
have to make ourselves less available to them,
Mm,
and when we are, then they're more inclined to show up or pick a time that they'll know will be free.
mm.
Like the last guy that I liked, I sent him my whole schedule, and he was overwhelmed by it. He's like, "That's hard to understand," and I think that's why he couldn't be more particular in picking a time and a place. And I don't know about you, but I'm a planner. I like things planned out, and a lot of men are more
Yes.
spontaneous, which I hate. So it's like
Yes.
sometimes it's good to have a man who brings you out of your comfort zone if you're open to it. Like the balance is opposites attract.
Mhm.
But if not, then it's just like how are we gonna figure out a time and a place if
Yeah.
you're not a planner and I am? So sometimes some differences are fundamental where it's like we're not gonna work as much as we like each other.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's like now that I know that probably overwhelmed him. But
Yes.
it's like too like, he works 5 days a week. Okay. He has weekends off. He says Sundays is his days for rest. I
So he
understand.
doesn't do plans on those days.
No.
Okay.
He resets. That's fine. I mean, you could still kind of push me in because it's not like I'm gonna stress
No,
you out. But no, I'm
no.
just kidding. But no, no, okay, Saturdays. Like sometimes he also does his little business on
Okay.
Saturdays. I understand, but I feel like if there is some room for me, make some room
I
for me.
agree.
You don't have to see me every weekend, but
If he wanted to, he would.
if you want to, yeah, I'm down for that.
And yeah,
Sometimes I'm not free on
yeah,
weekends, so that's another reason why I showed him my schedule. But I feel like you could still squeeze me in certain days. He squeezed me in last week on one of his breaks and took an extended break. Like I like that,
yeah.
but
And it doesn't have to always be a squeezing. It could be 2 hours. If that's the time
yeah,
he has to spare, that's the time he has to spare. Like it's the
if you
thought.
got 30 minutes,
Let's do it. 30 minutes. Let's
that's
go.
all I want. But
Correct.
I want you to tell me.
And it shows effort. It shows that you care, that you're interested. If that's all the time you have, and I'm free at that time, let's go.
I
So.
just feel like and then like I also did a thing where it's like a little bit of a I would say kind of a compromise for lack of better words.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we pick a certain day and that's when we'll see each other
I think
and stuff like
too.
that.
We're all adults now. We all work big boy and girl jobs. Hopefully, hopefully,
Hopefully.
uh, where if you know that every week on the same day you guys will both be free or have the time, make each other a priority. It shows consistency.
Yeah, like okay.
What's next?
It's 125.
So what should we for next week and the week after? What do you think from this episode that you can take away with and like work on or think about for you as yourself?
I think that I still have some healing to do.
Me too.
Um and again, like I said before, that healing is not linear. You're always healing. Um and you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So,
Yo.
um, I'll probably. I'm indecisive right now.
Okay, that's okay.
I'm a Libra rising,
Oh,
so
classic.
there's the air. Um, I'm indecisive of texting him and be like, "Oh, we should have a conversation," or let the man do it. But I generally feel like I want to talk to him, and if you don't want to talk to me, whatever, I don't care. That will just show me that whatever. But
Okay.
I do want to have a deeper conversation in person too. I don't want to text about
Yes,
it.
ladies, do not have these conversations
Yeah.
through text if you have not learned already. It
Yeah.
needs to be done at least on the phone, voice to voice, or in person, face to face.
Yeah. Because like I did tell him like, he was understanding of my decision, but like I said, like I feel like he's my person low key. Like he checks all the boxes,
That you're
stuff
looking
like
for.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so next time we talk, we're gonna have an update on this. If he reached out to you first, or if you reach out to him first.
Mm-hmm.
If you reach out to him first and it goes well, perfect. But I do think when a man doesn't reach out first, it does show his leadership skills, and or it's like he's letting you go, and that he wasn't as interested as he claimed to have been.
Well, I think it's also because this is the second time. Because the first time
Okay.
he did reach out to me and was
Okay.
like, "So we're not gonna talk" and stuff like that. And then we talked and things were going
So
fine.
sounds like you have some avoidant tendencies, like myself.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like,
Okay.
maybe I should do it this time because, like I said, we're both watching each other's stories.
So there's still
Obviously,
that
there's
connection.
something still there.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So we'll catch up on that for next episode. And then we'll get into our next episode. Do you have any questions for the listeners to think about?
Hmm. I would say. I would say. Um. Where do you guys think there? Where in your life aspect do you need to heal? What specific things do you need to heal within your inner self? Um. And how can you grow from the things that you're dealing with? Where what aspects of your life can you grow in? Where can you be more open-minded? Where can you be more Sorry guys for the
Sorry
interruption.
about that.
First episode, don't worry.
Yeah,
It will be
literally.
better next time.
Correct.
Um yeah, where in your what aspects in your life can you grow from? Can you be more open-minded? Can you be more self-aware? Uh where do you need to heal? What do
Mm-hmm.
you need to heal? Um
And how can that affect like you in your relationships prior to and after?
yeah, platonically and romantically and within family.
Yeah, and if you're taking stuff personally all the time, ask yourself why. Take a moment in the moment to kind of be like, why did that bother me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
You could literally to sit with yourself, meditate if that's your type of thing, journal it. You could write down these questions and answer in a journal
mm-hmm.
if you want or in your notes app. And just like delve deeper into yourself, like learn your inner self. And even if you have to, it's a part of shadow work. If you don't know
Mm-hmm.
what that is,
we,
it's
we can
just
get into that too,
yeah.
future.
Yeah, we could
So
talk about that, give you more bigger definition, but also see where it leads to in your inner child as well, because it also ties into that your inner child, your inner teenager, and now your adult self.
yeah, and spiritual journeys aren't linear. They aren't
Linear.
linear. Mine definitely came to me naturally. I didn't go looking for it. It took a situationship to end that propelled me into mine. So, after you hear this episode, hopefully these questions help you think about some stuff on a deeper level. And it's not like it's just gonna happen tomorrow, but typically I'd say there's usually a pivotal time in your life when you're like, oh my goodness, like I have to change or I have to do better. And then you kind of start your journey naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you can start it intentionally, but I'm not sure if it will have the same effect versus if, like, you've been living life and you're like, oh, like things
Yeah,
just call to you differently when it happens naturally.
yeah. I feel like my frontal lobe has developed a lot since
Man.
turning 25, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, yep. Comment if you guys have any questions. If you want to email us, you definitely can.
yeah, you can email us at a soulfulspacepodcast@gmail.com. It will be in our bio and links and description. And
Follow us on all social media
yep,
platforms.
Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube. Um, and if you are also dealing with these things as well, anything that we talked about, or have some insight or some advice or anything, just comment it down below.
Or DM us.
Yeah,
We get back to you. So
yeah. Thank
that
you
was
so
it.
much. Yeah,
That's
thank you
yeah.
so much for listening. It's our first episode.
So we're working things out, but
Yeah, give us grace.
amen.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.